Hi there, it's Chris from Commodity Distribution Collective. Welcome to our first podcast. We did have some technical difficulties in that I've lost the video for this conversation, so we only have the audio recording. There was also a second part of this conversation, which was very important and interesting. However, I failed to press the record button, and so we no longer have this conversation for us to listen to, but I've tried to salvage what we have got. But don't worry, we will cover all of this again in more detail in subsequent podcasts. So yes, here we go. Thanks all for joining. There isn't really, I didn't have a great plan for this, so we'll just sort of see how it goes. The topic was going to be like free exchange and how we can promote that. So I suppose first we can just start with, maybe introductions. So I'll start with myself. I'm Chris, and my day job is a biomedical scientist, and I sort of have contributed to making part of Commodity Distribution Collective, which is a collective that is aiming to promote free exchange. And yeah, that's it from me. So we can go across. Sandeep, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. My name's Sandeep, and my day job is teaching economics as well, and furthering the teachings of Professor Fekete, whom I used to lecture with. And yeah, so CDC is what I'm working on with Chris and everyone else to get proper currency circulating again. That's me.
Charles?
Yeah, I'm Charles. I design and build houses and other things like that. And yeah, I've just sort of learned a lot from Sandeep over the years, just watching lectures and reading his work, and that's brought me here.
Michael?
My name is Michael Habner. I'm Australian. I'm been in mining for many years. I'm a mineral processing consultant, part-time. Also a part-time farmer. I grow eggs.
Wow.
Also classify myself as a market maker as well, but long-time student of Professor Fekete and his proteges, and with a long-time interest in this topic.
Nikolas?
Yes, hi to all. I'm Nikolas Folinas. I'm from Greece. I'm a pharmacist. I work as a pharmacist. And I have, for several years, studying some stuff from Austrian economics. And some years ago, I came out to Professor Fekete and to Sandeep. And from there on, I'm following them. I can say that it is not a bit hard to study the new Austrian economics, but it is a bit challenging to me. Reading all this stuff that even Chris are writing, even the exams that I took some days ago, I think that it is very challenging for me because they might seem some simple questions, they might seem some simple stuff, but it is very difficult in a way, and to do it properly. I must pay. Someone has to pay attention to the details, as I see. But all of this, I'm very happy to see this initiative with CDC, because it helps us and me to see how in practice we can do some stuff, how practical can be the things, not just in theory, but in everyday action with each other, with in a way that one can find. So I'm glad for all of you guys. Nice to meet you.
Excellent. Yeah, so let's just get the ball rolling, and so we'll just discuss a bit about what is exchange, and why it's important. And I think firstly it's important to say that it allows us access to each other's produce. We all live in different situations, different environments, and we're adapted to for certain situations to produce like maybe one or two things, and other people are better adapted to produce other things, and so it's allows us to share those as if we each did a bit of everything and grew a bit of everything. So I don't know if anybody wants to add anything to that.
I'll start. I think that yeah, we should remember that there are many things that can be considered as marketable. So marketable is a word that we use a lot in Austrian economics, and in German it's Absatzfähigkeit. I didn't do German, so forgive my pronunciation, but it means things that we can carry with our hands. Everybody thinks that it means something to do with, and in some ways it does, with gold being everyone wants gold, or everybody always wants gold, etc., etc. It's more than gold. What exchange is about is much more than gold. Gold is a part of total exchange. So if you ask me on a personal basis, I think gold is a bit tacky compared to silver, when it comes to sort of various things, and so I think that we have this gold obsession sort of in the Austrian school camp, and we need to sort of think about what exchange means involving everything, including gold. And we might find that gold is not the most valuable metal as we think of it. It could be something else. I'm not sure on others' views on that. Michael's out there. Are you in Melbourne, Michael?
You're on mute, I think, Michael.
I'm located on the Eyre Peninsula of South Australia, a rural area.
Right. So you're doing copper refining. I heard, but couldn't join the conversation.
Not refining, but there's actually a few people around, quite a few people around who keep scrap copper.
Right.
And also other types of scrap metal around in their farms and yards. And you'd be surprised if you speak to people how much of it they've actually got. Nobody has any silver. I'm actually trying to focus on silver because it just works.
Yeah. I mean, silver was the currency, or what was based on, the currency was based on for international trade, and it was only gold that made its appearance, much later in the 17th century, because of a mistake by the treasury at the time, and they accepted gold guineas versus silver shillings at the wrong rate versus the market rate. So silver left the country and gold came in. So that's another example of the state sort of messing around with free exchange. The result was that England ended up with a lot of gold and no silver. So hey presto, we all like gold now, and we'll come up with all kinds of marketing to keep it that way. And silver has been. Yeah, sorry, Michael, go on.
I'm keeping an open mind and just trying to find out what people actually do have. I did have somebody offer up offer up small amounts of gold for refining and conversion into a pure form, a monetary form. There are little bits out there, but I think silver is preferred, and I concur with your comments. It's what people have available and are willing to use that is important in my view. In actual fact, copper is one that people have a lot of in this area, may have in your area as well. It's just something that people tend to hoard for some reason.
And we have to remember all of these metals are related to each other. You know, they're all stacked one on top of each other on the periodic table. And so, again, we have to remember that they'd all circulate together, which we forget. Because the state has had that imposition, as the state would. It's the state. But
well, that's a really important point. Getting onto your point about the imposition of the state on the monetary metals. I think it's really, to facilitate free exchange, we must completely eliminate the state from all exchanges, in my view.
I agree. What are others' views on the subject?
Well, here in Greece, it's all about gold. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. They don't even know the possibilities of silver or copper coins. Copper here is just scrap. They actually in Greece, there's a large quantity of gold sovereigns from many years ago. And in rural areas, there are many gold sovereigns that have been hoarded for years or for decades, but they don't know how to use them. The sole use of for them is to go to the bank when they have need for fiat currency. When they are in need, they get a quote, which is the worst. If you can sell a gold coin, they get some fiat. That's it. They don't even know how to use it. There is many gold coins in Greece here, but the other metals are not so common. No one uses them. Yes. Nor silver, but copper is a scrap. They laugh at you if you talk about copper coins. They think that you can throw it away. It has no value at all.
Yeah, and I think that mentality has a lot to do with the state imposition on monetary, on exchange in general, and on particular how money would develop. If copper was more expensive than gold right now, well, then everybody would like copper. You know, that's the way that's the way they think. You know, so we have to remember that gold wires in a motor, for example, like an electric motor that moves in a car, would be a lot less efficient than using copper wires because it's a lot heavier. So in that context, copper wires are more valuable than gold wires because the motor is moving in the car. So there are all kinds of ways of thinking about these metals, which promote silver and gold over copper. Silver and copper over gold. All of these industrial, technological uses, and that would be made more apparent when we got free exchange resumed. You know, it will happen. It will happen. But everybody is hooked to some degree, more or less, to fiat currencies. Whether, you know, so we're probably the least out of
Yeah.
all people on the planet. So we have to remember that everyone is still they're still in it. They're still involved in it in various degrees.
Can you remember
So
a time when there was free exchange in history?
no, not in my current life.
No, not in your life. Just in, I don't know. You said
Previous
resumed.
lives.
So I thought,
Well, it could have been, but we're talking about sort of like 10,000 years ago in the Indus Valley.
yeah.
Just looking sort of at what their sort of trade inscriptions were. But that's a long time ago to analyze, because that's all we have from that civilization. We don't have anything on papyrus or scriptures, or we only have those trade seals, which is unusual. So yeah, there was 5,000 to 10,000 years ago in India.
I think we have to remember as well. When when gold coins were circulating in Roman times and stuff, it was still fiatized. With the stamp of the Roman emperor. This is whatever. This is a fiat coin. This is even though it was made of gold, it still had that government stamp on it as well.
Yeah. There was 25 denarii to one Roman aureus, and like we had here 20 silver shillings to your one gold sovereign. But all of that was a state imposition. So we don't know what true market makers would have made about the relationship between gold and silver, as there's always been some lunatic in a crown trying to murder, if not his own people, then someone else's. So that's always been something to contend with.
And so I suppose then, like, what would be required for for free exchange? Like, what does that constitute? Like, what are the fundamental aspects that must be present in order for an exchange to take place?
This is my view, and I want to hear everybody else's view, but I think we all need to start growing things. And if we're lucky enough to be in a position to be able to grow easily, then that's what we should be doing. It's growing things that's the basis of exchange. And when we talk about growing things, we just think about plants and that kind of thing, and that's the basis of it. But even refining gold can be thought about a process of growing, thought of as a process of growing. So but growing something that's easy to grow and something that's nutritious, beans, pulses, once you've got that going, you've got the basis of exchange, I think. I don't know what other people's views are on it.
I agree. No, I agree. Something that doesn't require too many steps to do. Like you say, you just plant the seed and you're away. You use your water from the sky and whatnot.
Yeah, it should be a simple thing, an exchange of a quantity of something for a quantity of something else. It should be comparable by the weight rather than, some numerical value, some ascribed sort of, so by I suppose you say by tear rather than by tail. Yeah, rather than fiat is only going to be a number. It's there's no actual quantity to it. It's not a thing.
Yeah, what is a pound?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's so you guys Nikolas is in Athens.
No, I'm in Larissa. It's
okay.
more north.
More north.
Athens.
Okay.
It's
so
a rural area. Yeah, it's a rural area around here. and they grow some stuff. They grow wheat, they grow cotton, they grow some things like that. But they are using some incentives from the government. They don't really grow things to meet the needs of the people here or anywhere else. They don't get the quote price, you say, for the things from the needs of other people. They grow the cheaper things that they find. If there is a catastrophe from the weather, they get the government incentives, and it works like that. They don't even know how to work. It's a pity because they work hard here. They work, but they don't know the way to do it right. And some other guys in rural around here, around my city, they grow vegetables, they grow eggs, but they do it domestically. They do it for them, and the surplus, they don't know how to use it. Usually they hand it to their relatives, to people who make some favors for them as a gift. So there it could be done that thing, because it's a waste of time and a waste of materials to just hand it out or throw it away, the surplus.
Yes, I think you've hit the nail on the head there when you mention the surplus, is that we, from an individual basis, we can all grow much more than we need to eat ourselves. So and that's how we make the exchange. And we need to move more towards garden settings rather than farming settings, because farming is taxing at the end of the day, and it's not a lifestyle I would wish on anyone, and they might want to justify having that lifestyle, but I think we'd all rather be in a garden, doing it from a garden or from that perspective, because you can achieve exactly the same thing. You're making surpluses, rather than the government forcing you to make a surplus with all of this you don't even know. So you've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, most of them, they look for years. I don't even in my family buy eggs, because I heard Michael before what he said. I haven't bought eggs for years. They hand it to me or to my wife for some favors doing them. They do it because they have a surplus. If they don't give it to them, to us, they throw it away. They don't have the ability to go out to a market or to sell them, and they don't even care. And that could be a source of
That's the
things.
source. That's the source of the exchange.
Yes.
Of the true exchange. So that's the mechanics are already there. And I think that we'll find that the people are already doing these kinds of lovely things about giving surpluses to your neighbors as gifts and all of that.
I'm talking to quality, and very good quality things, not scrap material. I'm talking about beans, not so only eggs, beans, vegetables, and other tomatoes and other things.
Yeah,
top quality.
This is what makes a market to me, in my eyes. It's not stocks and shares and bonds. It's being able to access these kinds of things when you need to, when you want to, and you've got everybody sort of growing things all over the place, and some people do it formally, like in growing clubs with allotments, and things like that. So everybody is doing the right thing from that perspective, and it's our job to educate everyone else about distributing this to the whole community, for everyone, for everyone.
How do people with surpluses find each other to make such exchanges happen?
That's the thing. You know, I mean, if I were given a surplus of eggs, sort of just from, you know, my neighbor, I'd be great. But I might already have 6 eggs in my fridge. So there's a formalization to gift giving such that gifts are not wasted. I think we can all empathize sort of with that, you know, being handed some jam that just gets thrown away or something because you didn't. Not that I've done it to anyone listening, but but I know of people who have. So yeah.
It's unnecessary, isn't it? That waste.
It is. It is completely unnecessary. And you know, when you have to carry the jam around, you realize the importance of the glass jar. So what's the value of the jam without the glass jar? So all of these things we think about when it comes to true currency.